Hi, everyone. Welcome to What Just Happened. I'm Christine Russo. Today, we welcome Dr. Mark Greither, SVP and General Manager of PayPal Ads. Hi, Mark.
Thanks so much for having me, Christine.
Congratulations on PayPal Ads. Let's first get into you and your background and how you got here. Briefly tell us about that, and then we'll get into the really exciting business of the launch.
Yeah, I joined PayPal about 6 months ago to start the advertising business. And prior to PayPal, I built a business at Uber. And before that, I was at Amazon, ran the seismic advertising technology, and spent a long time on the agency side as the founder of Xaxis, the first and largest programmatic trading.
Here's how I see this. You build Uber Ads, it's huge. You move over to PayPal, you're in the war room, you're building PayPal Ads. And last month, you just kicked the door open and you're at the helm and you've got your whole team behind you and you're like, we're here. And the industry responded, and I'm assuming the merchants are responding. Why don't you give us a little bit of insight into how that went down?
It went really well. Last month at Adweek, we announced that PayPal is now open for business, and we're inviting advertisers and merchants to participate in our advertising program. And indeed, we have had a phenomenal response from the industry, people telling us, hey, you are the one who naturally will dominate the e-commerce space. And the reason why everyone is so excited about this is the fact that we have a tremendous amount of relationships with, on the one hand, 400 million active users on our platform and millions of merchants on the other side. And that gives us the opportunity to see consumers in their transactions in a way that has never been in the past, right? Think about all the consumer insight that we have across so many merchants and the richness of that we can bring to our advertisers and merchants to help them on the one hand to run the advertising campaigns much more efficiently, and on the other hand to also help them to sell more products on their sites.
I believe it's 225 billion transactions. Is that accurate?
It is actually a huge number of global e-commerce runs through the PayPal pipeline, right? Can you imagine what consumer insights we can gather from that? And therefore, again, we and our advertisers and merchants are so super excited to finally kind of build this advertising business.
You're at the point where you're going to talk about efficiency and effectiveness. Was that built? So you basically went there and built all of that, or it had started, or that's a big lift. It's been 6 months. It's not that long of a period.
So indeed, when I joined the PayPal, we were just in the beginning of building the advertising business. In a relatively short period of time, we basically are now open to invite our advertisers. What we are doing right now is serving advertisements on the one hand on our PayPal app, as well as on Honey. What we will do as we look into 2025 is to expand the opportunities for our advertisers to engage with our consumers. That means on the one hand, we will also open Vemno up for advertising engagements. But again, it's really important we do it in such a way that actually it enriches the consumer experience on both PayPal, on Vemno, as well as in Honey. But we won't stop there. We will go further than that. And what we also will do is we will also offer advertisements together with our merchants. As I mentioned, with millions of our merchants on our platform. And so we work with them to build a huge kind of advertising network to bring together all the merchants in a unified, holistic way based on the PayPal data. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones who have transaction data across merchants. We are the ones who can provide closed loop attribution back to advertisers across all merchants that we're working with. And that is a huge, powerful value proposition that we would like to bring to our advertisers.
As far as the retail media, it shows no signs of slowing. In fact, you guys coming in amplifies the fact that it's really the rise and rise of retail media, as I like to call it. In the beginning, it was about being first and big. You're not first, but you're huge. And we've talked about that, but really that is it's a huge piece of being so big to come in at this point and basically either take the dollars that are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for more players to come in because that's happening, or capture market share. Really, this is a question about the total addressable market. It seems endless. What's your opinion on that?
I do think it is almost endless. It's a huge opportunity. And I think we have just started to scratch the surface, if at all. But the big difference is that in the past, you have had siloed kind of retail media companies who went out to market with a single solution for the merchant that they represent, right? The challenge with that is from an advertiser perspective, you can't basically manage hundreds of retail media opportunities side by side. That's just too much, right? You can't handle that level of complexity, and it would be just inefficient. When it comes to PayPal, the big benefit is the fact that we have cross-merchant data, which means we can help advertisers to optimize their retail media spend across all the different merchants based on the transaction data we have. And I think that is the uniqueness and the big differentiator versus what you've seen in the past, which is why I do believe as an industry, we are moving into the next almost kind of level of maturity when it comes to retail media, from retail media to, let's say, commerce media, and to this kind of more broader perspective across all the merchants that are part of the PayPal kind of ecosystem.
So you raise a really good point. You really are first, whereas I saw it as mid or third of the way in. You're first of this new way. Indeed. Interesting. Okay. For efficiency purposes and targeting and many other use cases, will you be using AI? Will you be building your own or stacking? What's the plan?
So when it comes to AI, we are already using AI, but we'll use much more AI in the future. And we will use AI for two main use cases when it comes to advertising. The first one is AI will help us together with the insight that we have, right, to bring even more relevant advertisement and better offers in front of our consumers. As I mentioned, we need to find a sweet spot that the advertisement that we bring to the consumers are really highly engaging for them, highly relevant for them, while at the same time also providing a high ROI for our advertisers. And I do think AI can basically help us to bring that kind of trade-off to the next level. And so I'm really excited about that. But then there's a second opportunity, which I'm equally excited, maybe even more excited, which is think about the opportunity for us to leverage AI to really mass customize the creative. One of the big challenges in our industry is that we talk about audiences, we talk about targeting, we talk about segmentation, and then we are basically showing basically the same creatives to each and everyone. That is so inefficient, right? So what we need to do and what we will do at PayPal, we will leverage all the insights that we have across all the merchants to then mass customize the creatives, the offers to our consumers. And I think that will then bring the entire industry to the next level of productivity. And so I'm really excited about that kind of use case for AI, which I think will be enormous for us going forward.
I was definitely going to go there with creative. Will it come in to play? I think retail media is early, very early on in its development of having really engaging content in this space. Another piece of this is balancing how much should there be out there and having a strong connection to the consumer so that they're willing and able and excited to be spoken to about product and opportunities and experiences that you might be advertising.
It's about a consumer. We are a consumer-obsessed company, consumer-centric company, which means whatever we do on the advertising front needs to actually be in the interest of the consumer, in favor of the interest of the consumer. Again, which is why it's so important that we're not bombarding consumers with ads just because we can do. It's really important that we do it in such a way that is actually additive to the consumer experience. That's where I do believe AI comes in. I do believe where the fact that we can provide closed loop attribution comes in, because it enables us to constantly optimize and improve what we're actually showing to the consumer. So I think that's really important and needs to be said here. So that's why, again, I do think there's a huge opportunity for us coming in this business with that kind of mindset. To your point, we are a brand, we are a well-known brand. And so we need to basically make sure that this brand and what we stand for in the industry is protected. But there's another element in terms of what I think what people quite easily overlook, which is we do not just have PayPal and PayPal Insights. We also have Venmo, right? And we have Honey. And with Honey, for example, it allows us to also use data which is pre-purchase to help us to optimize the consumer experience and to help us to optimize the sales funnel on behalf of advertisers. So it's really fascinating to see that we can basically use now pre and post-transaction data, bring it together, again, across many merchants to really provide the optimal experience for both the consumers as well as the advertisers.
This is going to be a great opportunity for Honey because they're in a shop mindset.
Exactly. And billions of shopping impressions, with billions of shopping impressions on a monthly basis, where, to your point, people are in the mind of making a purchase, right? That's the optimal way to present advertising to the consumers. And it's a way where consumers actually are happy to get relevant offers, right? Relevant discounts. They want to be smarter, right? And they want to save money. And so we can use that to the advantage of the consumer as well as to the advantage of the advertiser. Vemno, we have also so many kind of micro businesses on Vemno, right? And so we can help them to also get in front of the relevant consumers and help them to grow their business with advertisement. And in many cases, they don't have access to big budgets. They can afford big campaigns, but we can help them on the micro level to run advertising campaigns for them. And we spoke about AI earlier, right? So one thing is to, as we spoke about, the creative optimization, the mass customization of creative, getting better in terms of the relevancy of advertisement. But there's another angle to it, which is we can also use AI to help basically those kind of micro businesses on PayPal, on Vemno, to basically get access to AI and get the best out of AI when it comes to helping them to sell more products by making, for example, smarter product recommendations that, again, we can go and do across many merchants. So in that sense, we can also almost democratize a little bit AI in the form of advertisement in the future, which, again, super exciting opportunity.
I just want to spend a little bit of time on that because that's really interesting, because I think remember, my original point was retail media was being first and big. Now it's big. You're first in this new way. But now you're taking the conversation to SMBs and Main Street, where you are absolutely right. They are using Venmo as a sort of POS, and that goes for services as well. Are you really opening this up to mom and pop and Main Street to advertise?
That's exactly the plan. What we also will do as we go into 2025. Yes, of course. Yeah. So we'll also enable the mom and pop shops, right, to advertise to the consumer base going forward. But again, as it is micro businesses, it will be highly relevant for the micro segments that they will approach. And that's where then AI will come in to help to mass customize for the micro businesses and the micro segments. It's a huge opportunity. And it's an exciting opportunity that I think only we can bring forward, given that we have this two-side network with, on the one hand, the consumers, and on the other hand, the merchants.
You've sat on a perch in this industry from its nascent to now reinventing it, and you're just getting started. Like I said, you just kicked the door open and said, we're here, put your flag down. And I know you have 2 major new clients that came on board, I think today. You announced.
So we launched our first client, Hugo Boss and Verizon. Very excited about them, right? So they're the first ones who are now live on the PayPal advertising platform. Super exciting. Early results are very promising. So we are really excited, and we'll see a couple more as we go into now the Thanksgiving and Black Friday week.
Congratulations. Let's say, okay, you've got 2025, you have your goals. What if you had to look around a corner and see beyond that? Because you're basically reinventing this right now. What do you have up your sleeve?
And hence the sky's the limit, right? We spoke about so many opportunities in this call, so many ideas, so many possibilities, right? I came here because I fundamentally believe that PayPal has a huge opportunity. I think an opportunity larger than anyone else in our industry to have a really big advertising business. And again, it's early days. Not yet 6 months in, but the future is really bright, and the sky is the limit.
Congratulations on your launch. 2 new brands on the platform, and we're going to keep watching it as we go forward into Black Friday and beyond.
Thanks so much, Christine.
Thank you, Mark. And that is what just happened. I'm Christine Russo.